Hello world, Shelly here, and today I would like to experiment with a new series idea that came up in the comments on a previous video. One of you suggested a foundation roulette, and one thing that I've been wanting to do is have some kind of mechanism to formally revisit foundations that I have reviewed in the past. So I thought foundation roulette would be a fun way to kind of throw in a bunch of foundations that didn't have the most successful reviews and then do sort of a hybrid foundation retest slash get ready with me to see if I can fix some of the issues that had come up in those previous reviews. So I would like to eventually get like a spinner thingamajig, but I don't have one right now. So I just threw some names in a hat and I pulled the BH Cosmetics liquid foundation. This is their Naturally Flawless foundation, which did not perform as well as I had expected when I reviewed it. If you missed the original review, I will link it up here, but it had scored a 70% C-, and some of the complaints were that the coverage was patchy, it was slightly heavy looking, it was slightly drying, and it was hard to blend other products over it. So in anticipation of doing this, last night I did a hydrating mask. This morning I used my uber best brand new moisturizer, like the most moisturizing moisturizer I've got, which is the Belief True Cream Moisturizing Balm. This, I found it, recommended from Stephanie Nicole. I picked it up and I absolutely love it. I've only been using it for a week or so, but holy cow, this is the most moisturizing moisturizer I've got. So I wore that. I've got that on my face this morning, and I've also primed with a hydrating primer. This is the NYX, what do they call it? Hydra Touch? Yes. And I'm almost out of it. I need to get more. This is also a primer that has kind of a tacky base to it, which really does hold foundation really nicely. So I'm hoping that this might address that issue of patchiness. So we've got some hydration, which will hopefully counterbalance the slightly drying effect. We've got some tackiness to hopefully counterbalance the patchiness that was going on. When I initially reviewed it, I thought it applied best for coverage with a brush, but I didn't like the finish, and so I smoothed it with a sponge. I'm gonna go in just with a damp sponge. This is my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge, and that I think will be best for the hydrating part of things and the smoothing part of things. I'm also not going to try to build this up. I think one of the issues with some foundations, and some cats, is that they don't build on themselves very well, and when you try to build them up, you get a heavy, patchy look. So when I review a foundation, I do attempt to build it up because one of the questions I have is, does it build? But in this case, as we're trying to sort of fix the issues I had with this foundation, I'm not going to try to build it up. We're going to go with whatever coverage we get, one pass with a sponge, and then I will come back at the end of the night and we'll see if we had any better luck the second time around. So let's get into this. Here we are. I did not use all of the product I had pumped out, so I don't think we're having any issues right now with patchiness. We are sacrificing some coverage. I don't see, one of the other complaints I had initially was that I was getting polka dot pores on my nose. That is not happening today with the lighter amount of product. So let's get the rest of this face on, jam out to some tunes, and we'll see how everything blends. Okay, that was fun. First time playing with the Storybook Cosmetics Wizards and Wizardry palette, and I love what happened here. And let's talk about blending. I did not have any trouble blending my concealer into this foundation, nor did I have trouble blending any powder products over it. I think everything is evenly blended. I just really didn't have any trouble. I don't know if that's because there's a lighter application of foundation on it than there was the first time. So far so good. I think we have improved upon a couple of the complaints I had the first time around with this foundation. Let's see how it holds up over time. I will come back tonight, show you guys how it wore, and we will see if it ended up being drying the way it was the first time around, or if my moisturizing routine helped it to stay not dry. So stick around, I'll be back in a bit. Alrighty, let's see if the BH Cosmetics Naturally Flawless Foundation did any better this time around, since we kind of strategized as to how we were going to try to make this work. And I've been wearing it for about 9 hours now, and I don't think it's any higher than a low C. I think it's still slightly drying. It doesn't seem as drying as it was, but I took a heck of a lot of moisturization steps, and I don't think it should feel dry at all at this point, and it does. The other thing that's really bugging me about it today especially is that it has zero tolerance for being touched. It's very transferable. So I had to touch my chin with my napkin at lunch this afternoon, just a couple dabs, and almost all of the foundation has worn off of that area of my chin. I wore sunglasses for about 10 minutes today, not sweating, not humid outside. It's like 60 degrees, and all the foundation has worn away at my nose pads where my sunglasses sit. I also had to blow my nose one time. I did it very, very carefully, and just about all of the foundation is missing off the end of my nose. I'm not overall impressed at how it looks at the end of the day. It just kind of looks like makeup. It's not a natural finish, as they call it. I don't think it gets a grade boost at this point. I think a 70C that's a fair grade for the BH. I was hoping it would do better the second time around, but I think we're gonna keep it right where it's at. 70% C. Sorry, BH. I want to love you, but I can't. So what do you guys think about this foundation roulette idea? Should I get a spinner that you guys can see me pick which foundation we're going to dig through from the past? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell to be notified whenever I post videos when it's working on YouTube. And thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. Come back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern for new videos. And I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, and take care of each other. Bye-bye.